The path of least resistance. I heard you say last session that the path of least resistance is not always the easiest path.
Yeah, how's that feel?
Awesome, yeah. And that means...
Well, Esther was arguing with us in the dressing room about it. Because... talking to Karen about it, saying the easiest thing seems like it has ease in it. And ease and least resistance sort of feel like they go together. So she said, I hope someone will ask about that. So, go ahead.
Well, and so then I'm also hearing this ease part. And they don't, as Esther maybe was saying, that they don't seem to agree with one another. And it doesn't seem right to me that you take the ease part, that the path of least resistance isn't always easiest. And I'll speak to my own experience on it. I'm currently writing the screenplay, and I practiced law for several years and had a successful career, and I left it. And I am now in debt. I'm through the savings, but my gut keeps telling me to write. And I wake up with heart palpitations, all sorts of stuff. And I've gone to the ER for heart palpitations. Like, it's been a really challenging experience.
Just a little aside, that's not the path of least resistance.
Okay. But so at the same time, though, it all seems worth it. And in my gut, it keeps telling me go. Keep writing, keep working. And my fears tell me to stop, but my gut keeps saying go, keep going, that this resistance should not stop you, that you are on the right path, that things are going to work out, just keep writing. And so for me, the path of least resistance, that's at least the way I'm thinking of it, is to keep following my gut and keep that inner impulse, keep writing, Raul. You're on the right path. You have the support of friends and family. Even though it may not feel that way, it's there, and just keep writing. And so I'm wondering, that for me feels like the path of least resistance, even though I get scared in the process.
Well, a number of things we want to say to you, and we'll sort this out in a way that you'll feel it happen. There's no fear on the path of least resistance. So in the moments that you feel fear, you have diverged. And when you stop and pinpoint what thought you thought that caused the fear, it's easy for you to identify how far off the path that is. The next thing that we want to say is that when we consider this basis of the path of least resistance, and we consider the two perspectives that you potentially hold. If you've been listening to us for a while, you've heard us say that here you are in your physical body and you're sifting through, and you know what you don't want and you know what you do want, and that you've created this larger perspective that is your eternal point of view, who is always present with you, and how that larger part of you always exists even when you're physically focused. So isn't it logical to consider that as you are looking at a moment in time, considering an idea or considering your situation, that there are two perspectives considering it? Your inner being and all of us, and we're really smart, are always focused upon the path of least resistance. And when you're not, you feel resistance to that path. Isn't that make sense? In other words, when we know where you're going and you're going in opposition to it, you're going to feel the discord of that. Let's say it again in a way that you can hear it more clearly. The source within you is always focused on the path of least resistance. Now, you have the right, you have the free will to choose the thought that you think. When you choose a thought that doesn't feel good, you have not chosen the path of least resistance. The source within you does. So now you kind of get that, don't you? Mm-hmm. So source is always looking in a way that's the path of least resistance. Am I or am I not? And if I don't feel good, it's pretty obvious that I'm not choosing the path of least resistance. That conceptually is easy to absorb, isn't it? But now let's take it further. Your inner being is always looking long and broad, while you may be looking at the specifics of something that you are living. That's why when you go general, you always come into alignment. When you go general, it's easier for you to disengage from the specifics that are out of alignment. So this is the process. It's the process of writing. You know it is. It's the process of everything effective that you've ever done. You reach, feel slight discord, reemerge into alignment, then reach again. Maybe there's still discord, reemerge into alignment, then reach. Maybe there's discord, reemerge into alignment, until eventually you have molded the clay of this enough that you can feel, you feel that you've carved out a way, you have carved out the path of least resistance for the source within you to go there. You see how it works? The source within you is looking for the clear line. What do you do when you write? You start with a plot. You identify characters, and if you will allow it, they will write their own lines every single time. If you have cleverly and clearly enough defined them, in fact, they will continue to write the plot. The very best writing is not writing where you've already decided the beginning, middle, and end of the very best writing is when the plot evolves as the characters define it through the clarity of your focusing in their lives. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So you start out with a general premise, really general. Audiences are going to love it. It's really going to be interesting. It's going to feel good as it unfolds. Really, really, really general. Now, who would I like to participate in this? What do I know best? If I know it well, then details will flow through me easily, path of least resistance, better than picking some subject that you don't know anything about that you got to do a bunch of research on. So I pick some subject that I know plenty about, but I stay in this general place, and then I identify who my characters are, and I identify them so clearly that when they interact with each other, they know exactly how to behave. It's the path of least resistance. They've been together in my mind. They've been together many, many times. They know exactly what they would say and what they will do, and what comes next will occur to me. Path of least resistance. Path of least resistance.
So the click is, that path is an emotional path. And it's not me going to the ER or even writing. It's the emotional perspective that I'm cultivating, that try to get into that generally positive place and allow it to happen. And when I went to the ER, I was definitely not in a generally...
That general place is, I'm really good at this. That general place is, I have a very agile mind that formulates words really easily, that logically understands where things are going. I am perfect for writing. That's your general. I'm perfect for this. I am really, really good at this. I also really, really want it. Now, this is all stuff that you're thinking of from your physical perspective. When you focus upon things that are pleasing to you, what happens is you allow yourself the joining of that broader perspective. So then your confidence and your clarity is doubled and tripled and quadrupled and so on. In other words, exponentially, you become so much more clever, so much more insightful. Things begin to occur to you. The fog lifts up off of you. You feel the sureness and the certainty, and you have these wonderful moments where actually it begins to feel like you don't care if anybody else ever gets in on this party or not, because it feels so satisfying and fulfilling to you. But as it begins to unfold, it becomes evident to you that you've really got something really good going on that's really going to dovetail with the other intentions that you've held. What we're really saying to you here is that you want your first, foremost, dominant intention to be to have that rendezvousing clarity party with that broader perspective. Revel in the writing. So many people have sat before us and asked us questions because they've written something and now they're trying to market it, and they want to know what the path of least resistance is. They think they need to learn about marketing, or they think they need to learn about the marketplace. They think they need to poll the audiences, or they think they need to be in the right place at the right time. They think they want to cast a broader net. They want to find a way for more people to be involved with them. And we always tell them something very different from that. We tell them, write another book. Writing another book is the best way to get the book you've written published. Because in order to write the book, you have to be in vibrational sync with everything that you are. And when you're in vibrational sync with everything that you are, the universe is delivering to you the path of least resistance to get you to every place that you want to be, you see. clear, isn't it?
Very.